For the first time since March 8th, Atlanta United 2 returns to Kennesaw. It is a very youthful side for Atlanta United 2, hosting Memphis 901 FC, coming to Kennesaw on short rest. It's the USL Championship on ESPN Plus. Next. For the first time in over 4 months, the action returns to the Fraction. It is the USL Championship on ESPN Plus. Two teams chasing after their first wins of the year. Atlanta United 2 losing in Tampa last week, come in with a record of 0-2, going up against Memphis 901 FC, who lost midweek in Birmingham, and they've made the road trip to the suburbs of Atlanta. Alongside Jason Longshore, I am John Nelson. Thanks for accessing us however you are doing so tonight on ESPN Plus, large device or small. Welcome back, partner.
Excited to see this Atlanta United 2 squad. It was a good performance in Tampa Bay, but you had an early red card. Very difficult to see it out. This is the youngest Atlanta United 2 side we have ever seen. I'm excited to see these young players continue to grow.
We'll let you see what the starting 11 looks like in just a little bit. But for the visitors, let's focus in the spot shadow on someone getting his first start of the season.
Tristan Hodge comes into the lineup replacing Zach Carroll, who was red-carded in Memphis' 3-0 loss in Birmingham on Wednesday. 5 caps for Trinidad and Tobago's national team, 25-year-old player on loan from W Connection, one of the leading clubs in Trinidad and Tobago. Big shoes to fill in Zach Carroll. We'll see how he pairs up with Liam Doyle in the center of the defense.
On the flip side, for the home team, let's just say Jackson Conway had a moment last week, and that's why he's in the spot shadow.
Conway with a spectacular goal in Tampa Bay early gave Atlanta United 2 the lead with only 10 men. Conway has 6 goals in 22 pro starts, but a goal like this is one that people are going to get to know Jackson Conway if he continues to score goals like that.
And we will continue to get acquainted with 36 tonight for Atlanta United 2. When we come back, it is starting 11s. And it is the first 45. It is the USL Championship on ESPN Plus. Atlanta United 2 hosting Memphis 901 FC. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
I knew your name before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens. One stop to better.
Yeah, let's do it coming into the second half.
I knew your name before you did.
Yeah, my bad.
I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens. One stop to better.
Welcome back to Kennesaw. Let's get you into the starting 11s for both of these sides, for Atlanta United 2 and for Memphis 901 FC. First off, Jason, let's start with the visitors. Once again, coming here on short rest after playing in Birmingham midweek. And no Tim Howard in net tonight.
No Tim Howard in net, not in the 18. Jimmy Hague from Michigan State gets the start in goal. It's a 4-3-3 for Memphis. Reese Buckmaster's a recent signing for Memphis 901. He's moving over to the left side, coming here from the New York Red Bulls in Major League Soccer. Look out for Brandon Allen. He is the second leading scorer in USL since 2016. He has a goal under his belt in 2020 as well.
And to the home side, Atlanta United 2. Last week, Caleb Wiley became the youngest player to start in a game and play in a game at 15 years, 206 days. At 15 years, 213 days, he's once again in the starting 11.
Wiley is your left wing back. You've got a ton of teenagers in this group. 7 academy products starting in this team. The average age, 19.6 years old. Look out for a player in Coleman Gannon. He's going to be very free in that midfield attacking role. He's a scrappy player. He'll drift out wide. Very skilled on the ball. Very creative.
Head coach for Atlanta United 2, Stephen Glass, and there he is. Before the match, catching up with the head coach of Memphis 901, Tim Mulqueen.
Stephen Glass has been great with this young Atlanta United 2 team. You're seeing players come from the 2s to the Major League Soccer side in George Campbell and Lawrence Wyke this season. There's a lot more coming with some of this young talent.
The national anthem here in Kennesaw, you see the players taking a knee, once again united against racism, the armbands of Black Lives Matter, and the flags here, Jason, at half-staff. Once again, a reminder, once again, the fact that John Lewis had passing away yesterday, reinforcing what we saw there on the field.
John Lewis is a legend in this city, a legend in this region, and a legend in this country, and he's also been a good friend to Atlanta United. Actually spoke to members of the club not that long ago. Everybody playing with a little bit of a heavy heart today. Everybody in Atlanta with a little bit of a heavy heart today.
We are underway at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Memphis in their road whites. They are going in the first 45 from your left to your right. And Atlanta United in their striped kits. They are on defense right now. Reese Buckmaster has it for Memphis. Back to Muckett. Muckett putting it into the area, headed out but not all the way. Settled down and finally cleared by Atlanta United 2, but not all the way. Back and forth and up and over. To regain possession for Memphis 901, it was Liam Doyle.
Doyle comes crashing through Philip Goodrum. No foul called. Knee in the back of Goodrum.
Back to Doyle, and Doyle will go all the way back to Hague. We'll bring it to the other side, and Tristan Hodge gets it back, sends it forward with his left. And wearing the captain's armband tonight is Mo Jadama. He clears it. It's going to be a throw for 901 quickly to Silva from Reese Buckmaster. Muckett again works it with the right, intercepted. Atlanta United 2 trying to get out of their own defensive third. Can't quite do it. Have another opportunity to do so. Garrison Tubbs into Will Riley. Jack Gurr nicely done. Couldn't quite get it past the center line, but here comes De Silva again for Memphis 901.
Strong tackle from Tristan Hodge. Took that off of Gurr.
Nicely done there by Edwards, Jadama, and Riley. Matthew Edwards trying to send it forward, and a foul on Reed as Will Riley was trying to get it in turn. Sorry, Coleman Gannon was trying to get it to turn. Third minute here in Kennesaw. We have other matches going on tonight. We'll let you know what's going on with that at halftime. Other matches in the region. Good work there. Can Gannon get to it in time? He does get there before Doyle cuts it back, but knocked out by Memphis 901. Deep throw for Atlanta United 2.
Gannon tried to cut that back. He got his head up in the 18. Good work from the 16-year-old. Tried to pick out a Johnny Fortune with the late run. Cleared away.
Riley in, headed up, not all the way out. Settled down, Goodrum racing Doyle. Doyle has to clear it at the last. Doyle wants a whistle, but it's out. It looks like it's going to be a throw for Memphis 901.
Complete mess in the back for Memphis. Jimmy Haig coming out to try to get on that. No communication with Tristan Hodge. Haig goes flying. Atlanta United 2 unable to of it. Doyle fouled on a late challenge from Goodrum.
Edwards gets there. Back
Nifty
to
from Edwards.
Very. But 901 had possession. Let's see what Atlanta United 2 can do with it. Goodrum leaves it. Chances there. Gurr winds up, deflected twice. Up in the air. Gannon trying to fight for it. No whistle there. Going to stick with Atlanta United 2. Once again deflected. Looks like it's going to be our first Creature Comforts corner of the night.
Good awareness from Caleb Wiley in his 6th pro start. Pounces on that ball that's bouncing around like a pinball in the Memphis 18. Wiley tries to put in a cross. It's blocked. Going to be a corner for Jack Gurr from the far side.
One of the concerns that Tim Mulqueen had in their match against Birmingham was defensive communication. Looks like it's happening again tonight early on in the first 4 minutes, or a lack thereof.
He was looking for quicker reactions coming into this. We haven't seen it so far.
Into the area, up in the air, and over. Atlanta United 2 trying to raise hands, saying it was deflected, but it's going to be goal kick for Memphis 901. What are you hunting for tonight in these two games, in these two teams?
I think a lot of it comes down to Memphis coming in on short rest. They don't want to play at a fast pace, and Atlanta's youth, you want to see this group play as fast as possible, and so far we've seen Atlanta United 2 try to speed the game up. Memphis needs to settle in a bit. They need to get organized defensively. Missing Zach Carroll, missing Tim Howard from this defensive unit. So far, it's looked like they have not gelled yet.
Throw in for Memphis 901. Reed all the way over to Buckmaster. Gurr on him. No whistle from Sergei Demyanchuk. They're going to keep going. Riley has it picked off by Keanu Marsh-Brown with his first start of the year for Memphis 901.
Marsh-Brown with the size advantage on Wiley, just throws him off.
They're going to go all the way back to Doyle. Pressure there. Gurr saw that coming a mile away, and he's off to the races. Buckmaster in pursuit. Gurr tries to get it into the area with the right, settled down. Doyle can't handle it. Cleared, but not all the way out. Here comes Atlanta United 2 again. Gurr right with the cut back. Back to Gurr one more time. Third time, Conway headed and knocked away. And it's going to be another Creature Comforts corner late in minute 6.
Brilliant work from Jackson Conway. He doesn't try to power that header where Haig had the bar covered. He had the post covered. Conway tried to loop it into the far side, and it's a scrambling Jimmy Haig getting over to get a hand on it.
So it looks like Jack Gurr is going to take the corner. Look.
It's a good ball in from Gurr on the second attempt, but Conway tries to pick out that corner.
Gurr with a Creature Comforts corner into the area. Headed Jadama came in, tried to head it down into the ground and get it into the net off the bounce. Nothing happening there. Harmless away and a goal kick for Memphis 901.
Shouldn't have been harmless. Mo Jadama has to do better on that one. Jack Gurr picks him out. No one stayed with Jadama on the run. He had a clean look and mistimed it.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Memphis 901 in the attacking third very, very quickly. Jadama in a bit of a grab fest at the moment with Brandon Allen. And it looks like it's going to be a foul on Jadama, and it's going to be a set piece from about 22 yards away over on the far side as you're looking at it. So Memphis.
All kinds of hand fighting between Allen and Jadama. Finally, the line is crossed. That's going to be a question tonight. Where is that line for Sergei Demyanchuk, the referee? Let a lot go with Allen and Jadama, and they're going to battle it out all night long.
Your assistants, Ben Regal and Dallas Rozier. Your fourth official, Amin Hadzic, tonight, along with Demyanchuk. Let's see what Memphis 901 has in mind, and up and over the bar. And it's going to be a goal kick for Atlanta United, too.
Tried to get a little sneaky there. Keanu Marsh-Brown, the Guyana international. Ben Lundgaard appeared to have the near post covered. Another look at that from Marsh-Brown. Lundgaard with his 6'6" frame, I think had his hand up and would have had that covered if it had been on goal.
Will Riley to Matthew Edwards. And back. Early minute number 9, goalless here at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Thanks for hanging out with us here for the USL Championship on ESPN+. Liam Doyle will get it for Memphis 901. Haig with pressure from Goodrum, can't get a whole lot on it. Was a temporary turnover, but back comes Memphis. Great work by Coleman Gannon there. It's going to be a throw. I'm going to say last touched by Atlanta United 2, so it's going to be a Memphis throw.
You see the way Atlanta United 2 presses, it's different than the Major League Soccer side. They play roughly in the same shape in a 3-4-3. But with the MLS side, it's more of a 3-4-2-1 with 2 players sitting in behind a forward. Here it's 2 forwards with Coleman Gannon in a free roll behind. Gannon has a lot of leeway to go chase the game. That time he nearly caused the turnover and a break for Atlanta, but they regain possession now.
Offside called on 901. Lundgaard sending it forward, looking for Jackson Conway. Gannon was there as a part of it. Wiley intercepted it. It's going to stick with Atlanta United too.
Moments like that last one are pretty typical from what we've seen around soccer's return in this country. It was nice individual skill from Michael Reed. Played the ball out to the wing to Segbers, but that reaction is just a little slow as teams try to develop a rhythm.
Foul called on Doyle that time as he knocked Goodrum over. As Goodrum tried to have possession and turn with it and work toward the middle of the field. As we head toward minute 11, looks like it's going to be Gurr and Wiley hanging out with it. So quick restart by Gurr. He finds Wiley with a lot of space, chipped into the area and grabbed nicely by Haig.
Haig, the second-year pro. It's his first year in Memphis. Was the Big Ten goalkeeper of the year in 2017 at Michigan State. Good hands there to grab that cross from Wiley.
Buckmaster, Muckett, and De Silva working with it. Intercepted by Will Riley. Nicely read there. Muckett takes Riley out, but it sticks with Atlanta United too. Jackson Conway looking to drive. He gives to Goodrum. Tries to turn on Doyle. Thought about it with the right. Thought about it again. Hit by Muckett. Buckmaster clears. De Silva is there.
Goodrum trying to create opportunity with that right foot. He commits the foul here to stop the break for Memphis. Could be seeing a yellow card after that foul. A little frustrated after he couldn't find the space with the right foot.
Just a bit of a discussion with Sergei Demyanchuk. Looks like that was the last call for Goodrum before a card. Reed will send it back to Hodge. Hodge and Buckmaster now. Good idea, but not enough straightforwardness to it. Too much English. Had it all go out, and it's going to be a throw for Atlanta United 2. Sergei Demyanchuk tells Jack Gurr to back it up a little bit. Trying to direct a little traffic, but it goes to Reed instead. Jadama chests it down. He's got pressure from behind, a lot of pressure from behind. And ends up going into center circle, but it's picked up by Segbers. Came from Sporting KC2. Nicely defended there by Wiley, so the only option for Memphis 901 was to go back into the middle third. It's going to go Reed, Hodge, and Buckmaster again. Buckmaster has De Silva, and that's where he goes. Muckett goes back to Hodge again. Goodrum in pursuit. De Silva with some space. Nicely done there by Matthew Edwards to gain possession for the Stripes.
Strong challenge from Edwards. Atlanta with an opportunity to break. Ball just behind Gannon.
Coleman Gannon tries to settle it and turn. No whistle there from Demjanchuk. Goes back to Memphis and Reed again.
A lot of light contact. Demjanchuk's going to let that go.
Muckett, De Silva, and Buckmaster. Nicely defended there by Riley. Back and forth with Reed on the throw-in. Goes back to Hodge. Into the middle for Muckett, back to Doyle. Doyle spots Buckmaster. Remember him from his time with Red Bulls and Red Bulls 2 last year. Sent forward. Pressure there with the touchline as that extra defender. Memphis has to retreat a little bit. Reed looking to drive. Foul on Conway. So halfway through minute 14, Memphis 901 has the opportunity from about 35 yards out or so. So let's see what the visitors have in mind here.
Last 4 or 5 minutes, Memphis has been able to play this at the pace they want, a little bit slower. Atlanta's got to find a way to speed this match up.
De Silva in with the left. Found Doyle, back post, nothing happening there. It was wide, so it'll be a goal kick. Don't miss a minute of action in 2020. Sign up today. Get alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Atlanta United 2, then click on the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Get reminders on the 2's next match. Go to ESPN.com now. Click follow for your favorite club. Trying to get out of the back. It's Jadama being chased. Back to Lundgaard. Doyle gets into the back of Goodrum again. No call.
Interesting.
But here comes Jadama again after the good tackle. Riley having to chase. And the back and forth continues. Marsh Brown keeps it in and headed over the bar. An early chance for Memphis 901.
Memphis taking control of this match with their physicality. Atlanta starting to back out of challenges. Cannot give Memphis clean looks like that last one.
De Silva had the header, hit it over the bar. We are still scoreless. There's Doyle again. Finally, a whistle and a foul called on Doyle, and it looks like he is going to be the proud owner of a yellow card and a discussion from Sergei Demjanchuk halfway through minute 16.
Yellow card kind of comes out of nowhere because there was no call on the last one. You could see Liam Doyle go in, and you know the old school 2 guys jump up and chest bump. Doyle did that into the back of Philip Goodrum, and no call. And then now there's a yellow card on that foul. Little inconsistent. And this game can get very physical because that's how Memphis has an advantage here. They have more size. They have more experience. We'll see how this one goes. I'm very curious to see how the whistle is used tonight.
And Stephen Glass getting into the ear of Sergei Demjanchuk. So we'll keep an eye on that part of this as well. Back to Matthew Edwards. Had some space. It was closed down by De Silva. He'll go all the way back to Lundgaard. Brings it back into center circle with his right. Conway lost the joust. Second ball. Looks like it was Coleman Gannon coming through with it, and here's Jack Kerr.
Nice ball by Conway out wide to Gurr.
Edwards. Jadama looking for Riley, but there were a lot of Memphis bodies there. De Silva Looking for Brandon Allen, gets it back. Double teamed, has to dribble back away from the area, and he goes back to Reese Buckmaster now. Muckett. All the way over to Segbers. Wiley is there. Help from Garrison Tubbs on the drive. Segbers will get it back. After a lot of spin, didn't send it very far. Headed away by Jack Gurr, and they'll track it down again, Memphis. Here's Buckmaster. Muckett sends Buckmaster in, tries to send it into the 6 with the left, headed wide.
Memphis finding way too much space out wide. Too easy to play Reese Buckmaster in that time. He can pick out his cross, and he picks out Brandon Allen at the edge of this. Nice ball from Buckmaster. You expect Allen to test Lundgaard on that one.
Lundgaard, Mojadama, Riley, and Edwards. And back to Mojadama as we head toward minute number 19. Had an idea, ended up getting to Segbers first. But won back nicely by Garrison Tubbs. Jack Gurr calling for it. A lot of air under it. He'll chest it down to Control, back to Edwards, and they'll reset.
Needs to be a little quicker from Atlanta to open Memphis up.
Segbers into the back of Gannon, double teamed, drop, no foul call there. Marsh Brown with it. Gannon in pursuit, sends it into the area, nicely grabbed by Lundgaard on the cross, and the idea to Brandon Allen.
Segbers is a converted attacker, strong goal scorer at the University of Wisconsin, moving to right back at the pro level. Good in the final third. It's a good effort from him. He's starting to find that opportunity out wide on the right. Buckmaster out wide on the left.
Hodge thought about getting it to Buckmaster, went to Muckett instead. Back to Haig and reset into center circle. Mojadama was there first. Coleman Gannon nicely done. Tubbs in a back and forth with Wiley. Riley being challenged. No whistle. They're going to let him play. They're going to go back to Lundgaard, Atlanta United 2. Lundgaard will send it forward again, looking for Coleman Gannon. Marsh Brown looking for De Silva. Nice challenge there by Mojadama to get possession for the Stripes. Gurr. Jackson Conway on the turn. Goodrum is available. He will find him. One-on-one with Segbers. Cuts it inside, looking to line up with the right. Has to come back outside the area with it. Riley with a lot of space. Back and forth with Fortune. Now Matthew Edwards. The Johnny Fortune. Coleman Gannon. All the passing again, back to Mojadama. Riley looking to turn. He does on Muckett. Tubbs has Wiley with him. Goodrum. Nice one-touch there. Good tackle to keep the ball from going any further down into the corner by Segbers. It's going to be a deep throw for Atlanta United 2.
Atlanta comfortable in possession, comfortable playing in Memphis's half. Need to start seeing a little bit higher quality chances created, maybe like this one.
Good scoop, cut back. Conway, goal! Nice one touch there. Jackson Conway with the right, heading toward minute 22, and the Stripes are on the board. It is 1-0. Jackson Conway scores again.
We've seen that combination from Philip Goodrum and Jackson Conway going both ways so far in this one. They dial it up correctly this time. After the ball coming in from Fortune, it's a great turn from Philip Goodrum, and he just picks Conway out on the spot. Conway was able to find that space away from Tristan Hodge, didn't make the run, and slips it past Jimmy Haig, who'd like another crack at that one. Conway doesn't care. That's his 7th professional goal and his 2nd in back-to-back weeks.
Good work by Jackson Conway and Philip Goodrum. The combo is there, and the Stripes are on the board at home. We mentioned in the open, Memphis 901 played midweek in Birmingham, lost 3-0. Having to come back, hop on the bus, come back into another travel area. And they're going to try and equalize it right here. Marsh Brown looking to drive on Tubbs, tried to get a call, didn't get it. De Silva's got it, cuts it back, looking for Muckett, who skies it.
Atlanta living dangerously after the goal. Garrison Tubbs went in with a little bit of a reckless challenge on Keanu Marsh Brown. No came out, didn't get anything on it. Pierre De Silva with good awareness to pick out Dwayne Muckett. Muckett puts it over the stands behind the goal.
So Memphis 901 getting that pressure. Jack Gurr called for it. Ben Lundgaard just sends it down right down the middle. Jackson Conway in a race with Hodge. Hodge will get there first, back to Haig. Haig will bring it back forward, but it's picked off. Nicely done, Wiley trying to get around Segbers. Atlanta United 2 wanted a call, didn't get it, and we're coming back the other way.
Segbers gets both hands out. Wiley goes for the sombrero over him, and Segbers has both hands out and makes contact with him. I don't really know what else to tell you.
And I imagine the conversation that Stephen Glass was having with Sergei Demyanchuk a couple minutes ago, that is going to continue for a while.
Well, I think you could hear the conversation that happened on that no call.
Muckett center circle. Allen, and now back to Michael Reed. Trying to get some form of possession here. Hodge back and forth with Jean-Christophe Kofi. Too much on that. It's going to be a throw. Memphis 901 wanted a foul as Hodge hit the deck. And he is still down.
Hodge is in replacing Zach Carroll, who was red carded in the 59th minute in Birmingham. Slow to get up after that challenge. A bit of a loose touch from Hodge, and he runs into the Atlanta player. Really nothing in that.
Yeah, looked like Coleman Gannon's forearm might have gotten the contact with the ribs, and that's what Hodge was down for. But everybody's back up, and we're back at it. Fortune finds Gannon. Trying to turn on Kofi. Gets Will Riley. Garrison Tubbs. Nicely done there. Edwards directing traffic, ends up getting it. Marsh Brown won the joust, but the ball goes back to Mojadama. Tubbs trying to find a partner, finds it in Johnny Fortune. The back and forth is there. And here comes the pressure from Memphis 901. Jack Gurr waiting for it over Reese Buckmaster. Gurr's going to win the sprint. Can he do something with it? Has to bring it in with the right into the area. Haig is there.
Too easy for Haig to get on the end of that. But Jack Gurr getting in behind Reese Buckmaster. You're going to see Atlanta look for that more as the night goes on.
Back the other way quickly is Memphis. Garrison Tubbs stands up nicely. De Silva loses possession, and the Stripes will come back away with it here halfway through minute 26.
Nice work from Tubbs on the Orlando City product, Pierre De Silva.
Gannon, Gurr, back to Edwards. Will Riley. Johnny Fortune. Jackson Conway looking to turn on Doyle. Nicely done with the right over Buckmaster again. Coleman Gannon will not get there. Nicely shielded away that time, so it's going to be a goal kick for Memphis.
You saw Conway with the goal. We've talked about some of his passes tonight already as well. He is turning into quite the complete number 9 in this club. When you have a forward with Atlanta United who can drop into the midfield, play others in, but can also finish plays off as well, he's going to find plenty of starting opportunities as he continues to mature.
Reed and Segbers can't get away from Atlanta United 2. It ends up being a throw. Going to have to back it up a little bit. Back it up a little bit more. Will Riley intercepts, nicely done there. Got there before Kofi did. Segbers missed the header. Here comes Wiley. Wiley stood up, knocked over. Doyle is there. Allen backtracks, Marsh Brown, and Muckett.
After a few stutter steps with where the line would be, we're seeing that it's going to take a lot to get a whistle. Atlanta United 2, we've seen this happen before. They're a very young team. You can sometimes get frustrated when you feel like you should have got calls. They have to keep their composure.
Segbers with the penetration. Memphis 901 has to dial it back out, try to reset. Atlanta United 2 back nicely defensively.
Good transition to defense for Atlanta United 2.
Muckett tried to drive. Jadama kept him from doing so. De Silva tried to find Segbers on the overlap, couldn't get there, knocked out. It's going to be a throw. De Silva now over on the near side as opposed to the far where he started. Into the area, Tubbs will get there, so will Fortune. And Fortune just sends it out for a deep throw in the attacking third for De Silva.
De Silva and Marsh Brown have switched sides. De Silva's naturally left-footed, so he's looking to cut in, try to get an opportunity for himself.
Throw into the area. Allen posting up on Tubbs. Muckett sets up with the left block nicely by the Stripes. Kofi. Segbers. De Silva looking to drive on Tubbs. Didn't get there to the short side, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Jack Gurr gets that block. It's a nice turn from Brandon Allen. His experience in this league really helping Memphis in the attacking end. Nearly creates an opportunity for Dwayne Muckett that time.
From our friends at ESPN, a pair of West Coast matchups highlight your Sunday schedule as the championship continues the 2020 season. We'll continue that promo in just a little bit. Segbers nicely done to intercept Kofi. And blown away from the ball that time was Marsh Brown, knocking Caleb Wiley off of it.
It's consistent. Demjanjuk is not calling those types of situations. I guess he did here. We didn't hear the whistle.
Yep.
Typically not calling much of that physicality. Doyle goes up strong over Conway that time.
And Conway's feeling that one in the middle of his back. He's going to go down for a second.
It's the second time, and it's something I mentioned earlier when Doyle went in with a knee in the back. It's not so much going up with the arms and grabbing shoulders. That's all typical. It's leading with the knee. Doyle on a yellow card. That's the second time he's led with the knee on Jackson Conway in his back. Honestly, just Doyle has the size advantage.
Let's take another look. Here it is. There's Doyle climbing Conway.
Not too much of the contact that time from the knee. Looked a little bit worse in live action. Just on top of his back. Conway going to take a beating in some of these games, especially against a guy who's 6'4", and Liam Doyle has a lot of experience at this level. He's going to use everything he has to try to keep Conway in check.
Took advantage of that for the hydration break. The Donner Pass Derby kicks things off at 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2 as Sacramento Republic and Reno 1868 FC look to take early control of Group A. An hour later at 10 Eastern on ESPN Deportes, San Diego Loyal SC takes on LA Galaxy 2. Los Dos in Group A action as well. Don't miss a single second of action Sunday on the ESPN family of networks. Demjanjuk asking Wiley to go back before he gets the throw in. In space, the Memphis 901 players get the ball back. Muckett has to deal with Demjanjuk for a second before he gains full possession. Here's Reese Buckmaster. Hodge back and forth with Michael Reed. Back to Buckmaster. Reed again. Into the attacking third. Marsh Brown looking to go on Jadama. He picks him up quickly. Kofi has Buckmaster to his left. He'll go to his right instead with Reed. In between ideas, it ends up with Coleman Gannon and back to Atlanta United 2. Conway trying to turn, grabbed. Doyle got there first. Conway in pursuit. Looks like he was the last one to touch it. It'll be a throw for Memphis 901 heading into the attacking third.
That last attack for Memphis, Garrison Tubbs was late stepping out. Risky challenge to try to come for that. Doesn't win it. Caleb Wiley at 15 years old as a wingback dropped in to cover for him and made Memphis bring the ball back and slow down that attack. It's those kinds of moments that these young Atlanta United 2 players are picking up in game action. A 15-year-old with the right decision in transition and covering for his teammate.
6 current Academy players in the lineup tonight for Atlanta United 2. 7 Academy players overall. Right leg put into the ball, and it ends up being wide. I think that was Kofi that time with the shot, and it's going to be a goal kick for Atlanta United 2 as it goes wide.
Ambitious attempt there from Jean-Christophe Kofi. Signed to an MLS deal with the New York Red Bulls last season, but played for Red Bulls 2. Came up through DC United's system in their academy. Played in college at the University of Virginia. Hasn't seen much of the ball tonight.
Yep.
Memphis has found most of their success out wide.
Jadama to Riley with a lot of space, was looking for Goodrum, but I think he kind of chunked it as he was trying to get there. Buckmaster couldn't handle it off the bounce. Goodrum's there instead. A lot of hand fighting going on. Buckmaster trying to dribble out of traffic. Goodrum bumps him over and a foul.
Riley just under hit that ball, looking to send Goodrum in behind. Atlanta United wants to try to play in behind Buckmaster. Feel like they have a few different players with a speed advantage there. Riley just under hit the pass.
Reed, Kofi, and Doyle. Back to Michael Reed. Riley on him. Intercepted. Nicely done by Atlanta United 2 Johnny Fortune. Riley looking for a partner. Finds it in Matthew Edwards. Looking to drive center circle. He'll leave it for Garrison Tubbs. Ambitious idea from Tubbs, picked off by Memphis, and here they come back the other way.
Tubbs was looking for Wiley on the run, gives it away in a bad spot.
Marsh Brown starts the break, but they're going to have to recycle it back to Segbers. Back and forth, Hodge. Reed was there, looking for Kofi. Kofi was going a different direction. Here come the stripes again. Riley trying to dribble out of traffic on a 360. Does nicely. Jadama over the top. And it's onside if Gannon can get there, but he can't.
Liam Doyle was looking for the flag to go up. It never did. Don't know if it would have. I think he tricked Coleman Gannon into thinking the flag was coming up as well.
Yeah. Michael Reed to Reese Buckmaster. Kofi. Riley slips, gets up rather quickly. Kofi up over the top looking for De Silva, but that's going to end up with Lundgaard. And Jadama will find Fortune. Gannon back to Tubbs. Allen chasing him. It'll go back to Lundgaard. Edwards pinned into that corner, gets past De Silva nicely. Kofi was there to block. Edwards is down, playing on. Doyle ends up with it as it goes over Jackson Conway, and still down are Kofi and Matthew Edwards.
Edwards with the nice cut on the dribble first. Didn't get rid of it quick enough. Kofi closed him down and went in strong with a challenge. It looks like Kofi got the worst of it. Look at it now. Edwards tries to pull it back again. Kofi goes in really strong.
Yeah.
Edwards a little lucky there. He didn't get more contact on that left leg.
Yeah, that knee went a direction it normally isn't supposed to go. And so Sergei Demyanchuk will drop, and it will go to Memphis 901. Muckett with it. Quick in transition, it's Marsh Brown. Segbers. Wiley on him. Gets around. Segbers in the area on the ground and cleared. Doyle climbs Goodrum again, no call. Muckett's there. So Memphis in possession. Doyle with the chip, and Lundgaard will grab it. Halfway through minute 38, the goal by Jackson Conway in the 22nd. The only goal on the board so far, 1-0. Conway scored the goal in Tampa last week, scores the goal here at home against Memphis this week. Gannon, nice turn on Buckmaster there. In and around Hodge. Can Gurr get there first? Looks like Hodge gets there. Tries to get rid of it, not a whole lot on it. Saw De Silva, Edwards was on him. Hodge looking for any kind of help, gets it to Reed. Gets it over to Segbers. Back and forth with Muckett. Wiley touches it last. It'll be a Memphis throw near center line.
Memphis nearly found the way out of Atlanta's press by going all the way over to the right side. Nice touch from Wiley to prevent Segbers from playing up that line.
Segbers ventures forward, finds Marsh Brown, but the ball found Will Riley. They're going to call a foul on Doyle. So Demyanchuk had another quick comment for Doyle. See how many more of those quick comments he'll have. Jack Gurr with the right into the area looking for Conway, picked off by Hodge. Kofi. De Silva back on the far side. Buckmaster now.
Good organization by Atlanta's midfield, not making it easy for Memphis to transition and get forward quickly.
Reed and Doyle, Goodrum closing space, and it's going to go back to Hay. Conway in pursuit quickly, chipped over him. And Reese Buckmaster will start it all over again with Tristan Hodge. Allen, De Silva, nicely done to get that out of the alley as he was looking for Reese Buckmaster that time.
Matthew Edwards playing very, very well tonight. First season here in Atlanta with the academy, formerly up in Charlotte, played a couple of times for the Charlotte Independents on an academy deal last year.
Muckett chipped to Doyle. De Silva and Buckmaster. Nicely done there to get De Silva free. Gannon in pursuit, sets up with the left, and it's wide. De Silva looking for a whistle from Demyanchuk about some kind of contact he might have had with Coleman Gannon.
All started with a dummy from Michael Reed. De Silva with lots of space. Gannon catches him at the end of it. De Silva had already pulled the shot wide.
Lundgaard looking for Gurr. Wins the joust with Buckmaster. And Reed was in the back of Coleman Gannon.
Gannon got to the spot. Reed went into the back of him. Good positioning from the 16-year-old Coleman Gannon. Knows he's going to take a hit there. Earns the free kick.
Edwards thought about going long, ends up working it forward now, and Jackson Conway with the 360 to keep it going.
What a turn from Jackson Conway.
De Silva looking to turn, Edwards on him. Kofi center circle. A lot of space for Jean-Christophe Kofi to run. Sent into the area with the right, deflecting over the bar. The chance was there for Brandon Allen, but it was just over the bar. Great work there that time by Memphis 901.
It's those little moments with a young team like Atlanta United 2 where things just switch off. That was way too easy for Memphis. You mentioned it, too much space as Jean-Christophe Kofi turned and started to drive. Memphis has looked best with their play out wide. That's another prime example. That final touch prevented Lundgaard from having to make a save.
Corner with the left. A lot of jousting in the area. Doyle at the front, at the near post. Muckett tries to get out of it, chips it, and chips it over everything for a goal kick. Are they going to call corner?
Took a deflection on that chip from Muckett. Mojadama won the header at the near post for Atlanta. They were unable to clear. Muckett had a pretty good look.
So De Silva will line it up again as we're heading toward the middle of the 43rd minute. Reed wants it. Doyle now back post. Sends it back in. Batted away by Lundgaard. Kofi wants to wind up. Body's in the area, and it's deflected all the way out. Coming back in to pursue. Buckmaster and Gannon. Here comes Jackson Conway. Buckmaster still down. Switch for Conway. Finds Jack Gurr.
Conway in space.
Colin Ford Segbert's just got a foot in the way there and got rid of it. And De Silva coming back the other way. The game stretched out. Tubbs misses his chance at a tackle. Brandon Allen looking to drive. Thought about the left and the right. Cuts it back. Muckett blocked. Deflections again. I think it was off of Garrison Tubbs that time. It's going to be another corner for Memphis.
After a good 40 minutes from Atlanta United 2 where they looked in control, they looked very composed. Game is getting way too stretched out for Stephen Glass's liking.
So De Silva for the third corner from that particular area. On the near, we've seen Doyle near post, we've seen Doyle far post, we've seen Brandon Allen in the mass of bodies. Punched clear, Lundgaard not all the way. Doyle tries to flick it, and it's in. Brandon Allen with the poach, and we are tied at 1 just before the half.
Demjanjuk going to have a conversation with the assistant referee. Lundgaard was out of his goal area. Allen was in behind him. Referees are having a conversation about it. Was there another player that kept Allen on?
Was it Marsh Brown, or are they claiming interference by Marsh Brown being in front of Lundgaard?
They give the goal after the conversation with Demjanjuk and the assistant referee. They do give the goal. It's a rebound back. Atlanta unable to clear.
Hey, look at the time.
Just a looping header back in. Brandon Allen does not give up on anything. Second leading scorer in this league since 2016. Bounced around a few different clubs, but he's always dangerous inside the box.
Tied at 1. Brandon Allen with the grin after getting the goal on the board. 3 minutes added here in the first 45. And as you mentioned, a great 40 minutes, and then Memphis 901 comes in and gets a goal here in the 44th to tie it up.
And there's still time here before you go to the locker rooms for halftime. Heads can't drop for Atlanta United 2.
Doyle chests it down. Segbers outside of the right boot. Center circle. Edwards is there. Finds Jack Gurr. Gets it out of trouble. Back and forth with Fortune. Mojadama.
Come on, Brandon, we need you.
Goodrum. Wiley looking to drive on Segbers. Gives it to a spot for Goodrum. Tries to go in on Reed. Reed will get there first. Give it to Muckett, who's got some space.
Nice defending from Reed. Uses his body to get Goodrum off the ball after a nice cutback.
Allen dropping back, helping Muckett out. Doyle. Up and over Jackson Conway to Reese Buckmaster. Kofi has to change directions, gives to De Silva instead. He'll try to turn away from Edwards. Gannon chasing Muckett. Wiley was chasing Reed, and here comes Segbers. Nicely done that time by Wiley to get in the way again.
Gives it right back, though.
Reed spins out of trouble. Doyle. Kofi. Hodge. Back to Doyle. Under a minute left here in the first half. Segbers looking to turn. Riley, nice defending there. Both bodies hit the ground, and they're going to call it on Riley.
Memphis will hold this and make this the last play of the half. They'll get Doyle up for it. Look for a knockdown. Atlanta's had issues on set pieces, clearing their defensive third.
Trying to get a ball into play to wrap things up.
Memphis tried to move it up about 10 yards to take that free kick. Philip Goodrum wasn't having it.
Ten yards up and about 5 yards over.
Atlanta playing a high line to try to make it a little more difficult for Memphis to find that knockdown.
De Silva in front of head coach Tim Mulqueen. Got the lob wedge out. Gurr got there first, and that'll do it. Atlanta United 2 gets a goal on the board from Jackson Conway, but then just before the break, Brandon Allen gets the equalizer, so we are tied at ones. Early thoughts off the first 45 plus.
Atlanta United 2 is playing like a team with an average age of 19.5. There's some really good moments in this, but it needs a complete half, not a good majority of the half. That's why it's 1-1. Atlanta United 2 has to be a little sharper in the second half.
When we come back, some good news for Atlanta United and for the Stripes as well. We'll let you know what else is going on around the USL. Tied at ones from the fraction. Jackson Conway gets the first. We'll be back right after this.
Before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, one stop to better.
I knew your name before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, one stop to better.
Welcome back to Kennesaw, tied at ones here at the intermission with Atlanta United 2 and Memphis 901 FC. And Jason, social media for Atlanta United, you have a lot of folks who are chasing after player information. And there was one player that folks were looking at in particular. News came out this afternoon that they're adding another player to the stacks from South America.
Yeah, the rumors have been going for a little while here. Eric Lopez coming over from Olympia. Youngster with 16 professional games under his belt, but he scored 3 goals in his first 3 matches with Olympia last season. Played for Paraguay in the Olympic qualifying tournament at CONMEBOL organized back in January. He was the youngest player on the Paraguayan roster. And thanks to our friend Roberto Rojas, he has a quote from Lopez. He said, to have only 16 games in the first division and make a big move like this is something very amazing and incredible that is happening to me. I'm going to give it my all. On the personal level, I hope to have a great spell over there and hope that a team from Europe, be it the Premier League or La Liga, can spark interest, and why not play there in 3 to 4 years. Lopez is still young. He's a developing talent, but you see from this video, he can play out wide. He can play inside as a number 9. He can score goals. He can create goals. He's going to get an opportunity to come into Atlanta United 2 and create some partnerships with Philip Goodrum, with Jackson Conway, and then join the first team in January.
Looking forward to seeing Eric Lopez join the twos just around the corner. There's a lot of other stuff going on. Let's see what else is going on around the USL, starting with your ESPN programming.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit Piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, one stop to better.
I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
So I'm assuming our story
There are never enough hours.
The USL is proud to bring professional soccer back into our communities and across the ESPN family of networks. Follow your local club and don't miss these exciting matches coming up on ESPN2 or ESPN Deportes.
Conway, first chance, and buried for Atlanta.
Sante going for goal, what a strike! Catching Romero off his line.
One of the key components of USL clubs establishing reserve teams through the USL Academy League is the strategic alignment of long-term player development efforts. As opposed to the scholastic calendar that traditional youth leagues typically follow, and in an effort to further drive vertical integration, the USL Academy League will be the first pre-professional league to align with the American professional soccer calendar. Clubs will begin the year with a month-long preseason in February, followed by a 9-month regular season split into 3 cycles: spring, summer, and fall, concluding with USL Academy League playoffs before an off-season in December and January. Clubs will be able to move players fluidly through programs at select times throughout the year. These transfer windows strategically align the Youth Network, USL Academy Team, and USL Senior Team even further. For more information, visit usl-academy.com.
Back to Fifth Third Bank Stadium. And Jason, the end of the USL news there, we'll get into storylines here in just a sec, but the USL Academy really is coming online, one of the things to look forward to when it comes to the future of the USL.
It's a vital part of growing the game in this country to have more professional opportunities for youth development. It's going to benefit not just these clubs here, but the U.S. men's national team down the road.
News and notes, and we saw part of it before we even kicked off tonight.
United Against Racism, USL is allowing its players to make whatever statement they choose to before matches, and it's one of the things that's maybe flown under the radar with this return to play, with everything going on in all of our society right now. This is an opportunity for players to use the platform in front of them to make very powerful, important statements against racism, and just in general to try to make this world a better place. We talked about John Lewis earlier, and living up to some of the ideals that John Lewis showed all of us. We see that here in this league as well.
Stadium developments, and there are a lot of stadia that are being a lot of different places. You've got Indy that's coming online with their ideas. You've got North Carolina FC coming online with their ideas. Oklahoma City's coming online with their ideas as well. And then Colorado Springs is coming online with their downtown stadium. A lot of advancement when it comes to stadia here in the USL.
It's a critical part to sustainability for USL clubs, and League One clubs like the Chattanooga Red Wolves and Tormenta FC are involved in this as well. Stadiums give these clubs an opportunity to bring in the revenues that are necessary and keep them around, and going back to the academy side you mentioned, to be able to grow.
And League One starts tonight with action down in Florida with Greenville and Fort Lauderdale. New clubs online as well, Fort Lauderdale being one of them.
Fort Lauderdale, the team attached to Inter Miami, opening that stadium. Inter Miami thought they'd be the first team in there. It's going to be Fort Lauderdale CF hosting the finalists in Greenville Triumph last year. Union Omaha and New England Revolution 2 also new to League One this season.
All right, let's take a look at where things are with the USL Championship and the sprint that is the season with the return of everything. Let's take a look at the standings as we're looking at everything. Here's Group H and Group G, and we paired them together for a reason. Right now, coming into tonight, the Tampa Bay draw with North Carolina FC puts them 4 points clear of Charleston, who play tomorrow night at the first match at Patriots Point.
Atlanta United 2 trying to get some points under their belt here. Memphis in the same situation over in Group G. It's not quite a marathon at this point, but there are a lot of games to come. There's time for both teams to move up the ladder, but tonight at 1-1, I think you're going to see both teams really going for this in the second half. Memphis has to feel like they can find 3 tonight, and Atlanta United 2 has been the better team for the majority of the time on the field.
Let's take a look at the groupings and how things stand. We'll show you why we grouped them like this. There are 8 groups, groups A through D, and you have 2, and this is your Western Conference. You've got 5 of the in 2 of the Group C for me is going to be the most interesting. Colorado Springs, Real Monarchs, New Mexico United, and
Group B is going to turn with Las Vegas change in manager and Landon Donovan in charge of San Diego. We look now at the Eastern Conference. We've seen Louisville get back on the field, but it wasn't such a good opening.
That's E and F. F is the one that has the 5 teams there. Keystone Derby's going on tonight. We'll let you know what's going on with that one as we go, and we told you about G and H. And the reason that we pair them together, because this is your sprint. The top 2 move on to head to the middle of that page in a USL Championship final.
It's really simple when you're looking at this for Atlanta United 2 and for Memphis 901. They have to move up into at least that second place spot in their group to get into the postseason.
And it's going to be guys like this that will lead their teams hopefully into those top 2 in the bracket. Some familiar names, especially with Indy 11. Tyler Pasher, Evan Newton, Neville Hackshaw for Indy 11, and the rest of the list.
Solomon Asante, your player of the week. Incredible 2019, and he does not miss a beat after this break. Comes back and wins your first player of the week in week 3.
Salih Muhammad, because of what he did for New Mexico United, is a part of the list as well. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the second 45 minutes. We'll let you see some highlights, some stats, and every other piece of information that we can fit in before we kick it off for the final 45 minutes. It's the ESPN Plus on the USL Championship. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit Piedmont.
Name before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes, I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
Welcome back to Kennesaw as we get you ready for the second 45 minutes. Atlanta United 2, Memphis 901 tied at 1. Let's take a peek at how we got to this particular moment in time in the first half highlights, Jason. And, you know, you mentioned once again it was that Atlanta United 2 and their pressure.
Caleb Wiley, dangerous down the left. That time, Jimmy Haig in his start tonight after Tim Howard started on Wednesday. Haig gets there. Goodrum and Conway was a nice combination for Atlanta. They found the goal. Fortune started it. Goodrum with the turn. Conway slots it home. Conway's second goal in back-to-back weeks, but Memphis took control at the end of the half. Atlanta struggling to clear their lines on set pieces. Lundgaard got a touch, but it's played back in. Brandon Allen there beats the line. Thought he might have been offside. Flag doesn't go up. Allen equalizes.
There's your first half stats. That's what we see. What do we know?
A lot of shots for Memphis, but only one on target. Atlanta United 2, not quite as much possession as you're accustomed to. But I think they picked their spots pretty well. They look to be the sharper of the two teams. Memphis a little wasteful with that possession. Want to see how the second half goes with Memphis finding space out wide, finding opportunities out wide. Atlanta's been the better team down the middle. Do we see adjustments from Tim Mulqueen and Stephen Glass?
No subs coming in as of right now, right out of jump for the second 45 minutes. So it'll be the same 11s that we started with. It'll be the same 11s that we're going to end up with here to start the second half. Let's take a peek at what's going on out of town. Real Monarchs had a 3-1 lead, gave up 2 goals late to get a draw with Switchback. So instead of 3 points, they end up with 1. Second half, Indy 11 and Sporting KC 2 are tied at 1s. Keystone Derby at the break. Pittsburgh beating Philadelphia Union 2-0. Lou City and St. Louis, they are scoreless in the 25th. Tacoma Defiance with a goal on the board, beating Portland Timbers 2-1-0. Those games are about halfway through the first half. We'll keep an eye on those for you as well as we go on here in the second half.
Riverhounds on a roll right now.
Bob Tilley, we know what he can do defensively, and Pittsburgh has done some tremendous work in the USL Championship. Underway now for the second 45. Once again, thanks for hanging out with us here at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Alongside Jason Longshore, I am John Nelson. And here in the second half, you see Atlanta United 2. They will be working their way from left to right on your screen. And in the road whites, it is Memphis 901. They will be heading from right to left as you watch. Liam Doyle sending it forward, looking for Allen. Getting there, it is Marsh Brown. He's got a lot of space. Interrupted, but Muckett is there. Jack Gurr has to double back, poked and cleared. Chance for Brandon Allen to get his second, but it was denied at the last. Mojadama backtracking, and it's going to be a corner.
Brandon Allen could see that scoreboard going to 2 for Memphis, but Mojadama with a lunging tackle after everyone else for Atlanta was caught flat-footed. Great start for Memphis.
So let's see what De Silva does here. Sends in, looking at back post. Lundgaard punches it clear. Doyle waits for it to go out, and it will. So let's see if it's going to be a corner or a very deep throw.
Shaky start to the second half for the Stripes.
So Reese Buckmaster is there, and it will be a deep throw. But Sergei Demyanchuk wants him to get closer to the mark where it went out of bounds toward the corner flag to try it again.
Demyanchuk is a stickler for where these set pieces start from.
De Silva tried to get it into the area. Goodrum will clear. And Hodge is there. Muckett and back to Doyle. And there's Segbers. Wiley thought thought he was going to go one way. Segber sends it the other. Muckett directing a little traffic with Brandon Allen. And just missing on the connection, it was De Silva and Allen, too much on it, so it's going to be a goal kick.
Memphis finding all kinds of space in behind right now. Atlanta United 2 back line needs a little more organization.
Lundgaard to Jadama. Allen in pursuit. Jadama sends it looking for Coleman Gannon. Michael Reed climbs Gannon's back. Ends up being a throw, and it's going to be for Atlanta United 2, as Memphis 901 thought that the Stripes touched it last. They did not, so it's going to keep going from left to right.
Hey, how do you miss that right here? It's my ball.
Tim Mulqueen disagrees.
Gurr with the throw for the Stripes. Back to Jadama. Fortune. Garrison Tubbs. Flicked by Goodrum and foul on Kofi as Fortune was trying to go by. Doyle trying to slow things down. And a discussion with Demjanchuk and Doyle. A rather quick one, but Atlanta United 2 will try it again. Minute 50, tied at ones. Goals by Jackson Conway and Brandon Allen in the first half have us where we are right now. Muckett closed the space on Wiley. Jadama got there, but Kofi ends up with it for Memphis 901. On the turn, it's Marsh Brown. Nicely done with the right to get it into the area. Brandon Allen was there, and it looks like he touched it last, so it's going to be a goal kick.
Good defending from Jadama. Didn't give Allen any space there to bring that down. The lines are getting very disconnected for Atlanta United 2. First half, it was very compact. There wasn't a lot of space for Memphis. As the night has gone on, those lines are getting separated, and Memphis is finding pockets in between.
Allen closing in on Jadama, who had a lot of space through the middle of the field. And here comes Wiley after getting it from Goodrum. Tries to cut in on Segbers. Segbers gets there first, tries to dribble out of trouble. He will. Nicely done that time to get some space. It was Keanu Marsh Brown getting away from Riley.
Great turn from Marsh Brown. Memphis now decides to try the left side.
Buckmaster is there. Muckett. Too much for De Silva.
Didn't see those opportunities early on from Memphis, though. A lot of time to start on the right, bring it over to the left. Fresh legs might be needed for Atlanta United 2.
Caleb Wiley with a lot of room, looking to drive on Segbers. Goodrum was with him, but he'll send it back to Will Riley instead. Fortune and Garrison Tubbs. Mo Jadama, center circle. Conway stayed with it after the deflection, but it ends up with De Silva and Memphis, and they'll try to break the other way. Nicely done by Conway to get in the way there. Back heels it out of trouble, but it will be a Memphis throw right near center line. Hodge and Buckmaster back and forth. Switch to Segbers is there with room. Gets past Wiley, but it's too much. Can Atlanta United 2 do anything with it? It's Matthew Edwards. They'll go back to Lundgaard to start the possession over all the way at the back. Jadama to Coleman Gannon. Gannon tries to spring Wiley. Segbers is there for Memphis 901. Comes to the inside. Tubbs and Fortune, and back to Jadama center circle. Brandon Allen chasing a little bit. Edwards and Riley now. gets it back. Sends it with the right. Nicely done to Jack Gurr. Georgia Gwinnett product with the flick. Nicely done. Coleman Gannon with the right. Too much on it. And Wiley cannot track it down. It'll be a throw deep for Memphis in their defensive third.
Good buildup from Atlanta United too. The final ball from Gannon. Not enough quality. Wiley can't keep it in, but Atlanta has an opportunity to try to pin Memphis into their own corner here.
Fans follow Atlanta United to the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus. Watch the USL Championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Coleman Gannon intercepts. Nicely done there. Kofi gets it back for Memphis. Wiley tried to get in the way, but it ends up with Muckett. Space to Muckett's left. He decides to send it back inside to Jean-Christophe Kofi. Marsh Brown is there. Two bodies on him, so he'll go to the middle with Reed. Reed back to Doyle. Foul on Conway as Hodge tried to go by.
Conway clipped Hodge as he cut back across.
Goes to Segbers, occupy the higher space. Reed is right
Hodge.
there.
He sees there's no yellow card on Conway.
Yeah.
Not the best of looks.
No.
Definitely caught late from Conway. Quick recovery.
Segbers with space. Marsh Brown. Thought about cutting it inside. Kept a hold of it. Doyle. Big boot with the left on the cross. Nice intercept there by Jack Gurr on De Silva, so it'll be a Memphis throw. Nicely defended. Muckett. Michael Reed. Buckmaster tried to do something with it. It pops in the air, but it'll be another throw. Nicely defended once again by the Stripes.
We're good. Let's play.
Buckmaster. Muckett. Brandon Allen has it poked away. Nicely done to get out of a jam initially there by Matthew Edwards. And we'll stick with Atlanta United 2 as we turn to minute 56, tied at 1.
Really impressed with Edwards tonight. Second start in the USL Championship. Atlanta United Academy player. Very composed in possession.
Tubbs to Wiley. Thought there wasn't enough on it, but it ended up being enough. Fortune tries to find Jackson Conway. Ball pops up in the air. And Haig is there to get it to restart things for Memphis. 9:01. Muckett. Too much for De Silva.
Great look, though, from Memphis. Atlanta not putting as much pressure on that kind of ball from Haig as we saw in the first half. Too easy to turn.
Go on, Dwayne, get his head down. Go on.
Riley and Conway. Gurr cuts it inside. Didn't get all of it that he wanted with the left, but it ends up being deflected to Wiley, who gets out of the jam with Marsh Brown.
7 for 29, 5 for 30.
Couple of substitutions getting ready to come on for Atlanta United too.
Jadama looking to drive. He'll continue to drive. They'll give him that space. He'll take it. Coleman Gannon is free. Can he cut it in, get it past? And he does! Coleman Gannon, great individual effort, found the space, got right down the middle, went past Segbers. It's in the net halfway through minute 57, 2-1 Coleman Gannon.
First USL Championship goal for Coleman Gannon, and it starts with the captain, Madhu Jadama. He has the space to carry it forward, and in this three-back setup, he's got cover if the space is. Coleman Gannon kept on side by Reese Buckmaster on the left side. Gannon takes the opportunity very, very well. First touch gives him the angle. Haig late to close it down. First goal in the league for the 16-year-old Coleman Gannon.
And Sergei Demyanchuk, with the substitutions coming on for Atlanta United 2, wants a Johnny Fortune and Caleb Wiley to get off at the fastest point possible. So that is the end of the night for 29 and 30. Johnny Fortune out in minute 58. And Caleb Wiley out in minute 58. 2 Academy products. Nicely done on the evening.
Johnny Fortune, that's his first start in the USL Championship. You would have never guessed that from his play. 17-year-old, very strong in the middle of the park.
Coming back, Memphis 901. Back heel clipped and blocked nicely there by Jadama, as it was a rocket that Muckett wanted to put on Ben Lungard. Abdoulaye Jope and Mackie Jope are the subs in for Wiley and for Fortune. And a foul was called there. So 5 and 7 in for Atlanta United 2 as the evening ends for 29 and 30.
Coleman Gannon's moved over to the left side where Caleb Wiley was. Haven't seen him in a wing-back role yet.
Gannon with another chance. Segber's another mistake. It went under his left leg. Gannon wants to cut it back inside. Leaves it for Goodrum. Fires and just wide. Actually, it was saved. Looked like it was going wide, and it was touched by Haig. So it's going to be a Creature Comforts corner kick as we head toward minute 60.
It's a big save from Jimmy Haig, getting down and getting the right arm to it. Gannon drops it for Goodrum, gives him time to line it up. Full stretch, Jimmy Haig.
So it looks like Will Riley's going to take the corner, the Creature Comforts corner for Atlanta United 2.
We've seen Gurr take most of these. He's dropped back to stay with Brandon Allen defensively.
Goodrum there to help out for the short answer, if that's what Riley wants to take. Segbers is there to help defend. Sent in, near post, headed clear. Not all the way out. Jack Gurr chests it down. Sent in with the right. Doyle heads it down. Riley will get it again. Nicely done to get around Buckmaster, but he hit it too hard to try to get it to himself over the inline goal kick.
Abdoulaye Jope is in that holding midfield role that Johnny Fortune was playing to start the match. He comes to Atlanta United 2 from Eastern Florida State College.
And the local product is in for Memphis 901. Cal Jennings is now in the game, as well as Rafa Mensingen, number 14.
Jennings, one of the leading scorers in college soccer over the last 4 years at Central Florida. Played for the Georgia United teams led by Tony Annan. Here locally, went to Roswell High School.
A quick foul by Cal Jennings. Edwards with the chip. De Silva tries to get it away from Jack Gurr. And he touched it last, so it'll be a throw for the Stripes. Sent forward with the right, settled down by Jope. Muckett, center circle to Rafa Mensingen. Was at Lansing United last year in USL League One. Gurr will go back. Backtracking. De Silva half-heartedly marking him there just to see what he would do. It ends up center circle. Riley had it, but Jope now. Coleman Gannon on the left. Segbers marking him again. Gannon cuts it back in, centers. Goodrum winds up and didn't get any of it at all. Ends up slicing it over the inline goal kick.
We haven't seen him tested defensively yet, but Coleman Gannon at left wing back, he is finding all kinds of opportunities to cut inside. Front three for Atlanta's very fluid, with Mackie Jope, Jackson Conway, and Philip Goodrum dropping a little bit in behind them where Gannon was playing previously.
Mensingen gets it away from Coleman Gannon. Bodies down for Memphis 901. Mensingen doesn't get anything on it, sets it up again, and piece of it picked up on the gloves by Ben Lundgaard. It's going to be a corner for Memphis 901. Mensingen got it through traffic. Ends up being just wide to the near side, but it'll be another corner. Looks like Muckett will take it for Memphis 901.
Lundgaard had to stay with that because it's coming through a crowd. Good focus from him to get down and push it wide.
Mensingen and Gurr hanging out in front of Lundgaard. Looks like Muckett will take. And with the right, looking back post, Doyle heads it straight up into the air. Goodrum knocked down by De Silva and a foul.
Liam Doyle, always the target for Memphis 901 on set pieces. That time, not a lot of space for him to get a clean look at that corner coming from the far side. Not able to do much with it. We'll have another hydration break in the second half, likely around the 70th minute. That'll give managers Tim Mulqueen and Stephen Glass another opportunity to reset a bit, prepare for the final 20 minutes.
Conway back and forth with Gurr. Hops over Hodge. Quick throw. Michael Reed to Segbers. Mackie Jope on him. It's going to end up going back from Doyle to Haig. Hodge sends it forward looking for Jennings, ends up with Atlanta United 2 instead. Abdullah Jope in the middle to Tubbs. Mackie Jope with the right, big switches there to Gurr. Buckmaster and De Silva close ranks quickly. Here's Will Riley. He's going to go for the big switch on his own. Gannon is there, nicely settles. Back to Abdullah Jope. Into the area with the right, not enough on it. Headed up into the air, second ball, chested down Goodrum. He'll fire and saved, spilled, but no one around. Haig is there.
Good hit from Philip Goodrum, but Jimmy Haig with another save. Hands not quite as clean that time. Next shot on Haig, you're going to see Mackie Jope and Jackson Conway crash looking for a rebound.
Great speed to close that time by Abdullah Jope to get it away from Rafa Mensingen. Coleman Gannon now.
Abdullah Jope's a player that Stephen Glass has been very high on, getting him ready to fit into this team and start to earn more minutes. I feel like they really found a player at a college that doesn't get a whole lot of looks, Eastern Florida State.
Another sub for Atlanta United 2. Looks like Daniel Steedman will be checking in. And that might be the night for Philip Goodrum after 65 minutes.
Good night for Philip Goodrum. Gets the assist on the opening goal for Jackson Conway. A number of opportunities here in the second half. Daniel Steedman from Glasgow. Couple appearances for Charlotte Independence last season. Played at the University of Virginia, left early to turn pro.
Coleman Gannon defends nicely as Mensingen tried to get into the middle of the six, and it looks like they're going to call a foul there as Segbers tried to get to it. Into the pocket, and Mackie Jope gets a yellow.
A little sloppy from Mackie Jope. Late there, not really necessary in that spot. Dangerous set piece here for Memphis 901. Take another look at it now. Mackie Jope, there was cover behind, didn't need to make that challenge. We've seen how dangerous Memphis can be on these set pieces. Just like the one at the end of the first half, though, Atlanta playing an extremely high line, trying to prevent that opportunity for Doyle to head it back across. Really, the only thing Memphis can do here is try to drop it in about 12 yards from goal into that space between the line and Lundgaard. Lundgaard has to get this one right. If he stays on his line or if he comes for it.
De Silva just wide. Went for it himself, and he was just wide of the post to his near side, so it'll be a goal kick. Ambitious that time by De Silva.
De Silva's leaning and cheating on the cross. Nearly caught him. Couldn't bend it in from that angle.
Steedman, stolen away by Rafa Menzingen.
Good quickness from Menzingen on the turn.
Head of steam into the area with the right, headed away. And it looks like a cramp for Edwards as he landed. Jackson Conway chasing.
How many? That's a
No whistle.
It's a foul. It's a push from behind.
Tim Mulqueen is disagreeing once again with Sergei Demyanchuk.
No, he didn't call the foul.
It looked like Matthew Edwards was fighting a cramp a little bit inside the area.
Conway goes through the back of Hodge. I agree with Mulqueen. It is a foul. Not 100% sure if Conway knew that Edwards was down behind him and couldn't allow a break.
Right. Steedman on Muckett. Mojadama will let it go.
Too close. You have really got to give it because you're so close.
Edwards down again.
And Lundgaard will dispose of it. And the physios will come out, and it looks like this is where we're going to take the hydration break. Here as we head toward the 70th minute.
Big decision here for Stephen Glass. Not sure if Edwards is going to be able to continue. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to.
So left on the bench for Atlanta United 2, Lamine Johné, David Mejia, Babacar Njai, and your backup keeper, Vicente Reyes tonight. So you've had 3 substitutions, and that's the question going forward for Stephen Glass. And what we've noticed really across any league that we watch, when you have these hydration breaks, they've turned into timeouts for coaches, and the coaches that can sit there and look at these times and adjust to give the team something to hunt for, and however much time is remaining has always been key toward, in this case, a finish in this last hydration break.
Well, this one's even more important because Atlanta has to reorganize now, because Edwards is one of your 3 center backs. You don't really have a center back on the bench. Maybe you can go with Jope dropping into the back line from the holding midfield, moving him out of position there. But you're going to have to reorganize, and that's not what you want to do with your back line at this point in the match. Atlanta in control after a shaky start to the second half, a shaky end to the first. Atlanta regained control with the goal from Gannon. Now you have to see how they're going to ride this out with Edwards not being substituted yet, but not 100%. So
we'll keep an eye on what's going on here in the final 20 minutes plus.
Otherwise, you're changing the shape completely, and you don't have a natural left back. Gannon is a left wing back right now. It's a big ask for him to drop to left back if you go to a line of 4. Might not have a choice.
Turning minute 72.
Edwards back on.
Yep. So we'll keep an eye on 33 in the stripes going forward here. Lundgaard, the line drive. Jackson Conway chasing after Mackie Jope made initial contact. Gets back to Haig, and they'll try it back the other way.
Good header from Mackie Jope. Conway a little late to react.
Muckett, Buckmaster, and a foul on Gurr. Tim Mulqueen sending folks forward. Hodge looking for a big boot here. Looking for Jennings. Skying was Mojadama. And can Mackie Jope track this down? He's ahead of Doyle. He'll have space to do it. What does he do here? Cuts it in with the right. There were 4 Memphis players there to defend, and it ends up heading back with Muckett the other way.
shot from Mackie Jope was blocked.
Mensingen, Gannon on him, helping out Garrison Tubbs. Nicely done there. And Gannon will send it forward to Coleman Gannon, to Jackson Conway. But Memphis will come back with it, with Segbers getting it from Kofi.
That last sequence for Mackie Jope, it all started with an incredible ball from Abdoulaye Jope in the midfield. Perfectly placed.
Riley on De Silva. Picked off. Nicely done that time by Gurr.
Great first touch from Jack Gurr.
Hodge was there, and now he and Jackson Conway, and now finally a whistle from Sergei Demyanchuk.
That's the learning experience that we've seen Jackson Conway have in the USL Championship. He gets a gift on a bad touch from Hodge. Tristan Hodge brings Conway back into the play, and Conway uses his body to get into position where all Hodge can do. Poor touch from Hodge. Conway gets the spot, fouled by Hodge.
Conway had inside position there, and that's all really that Hodge could do in that case.
But it's the awareness from Conway,
right,
because he didn't do anything to create the opportunity. Hodge opened the door with a poor touch, and Conway reacted quickly, and then little savvy, draw the foul and get something out of nothing right there.
And Hodge gets a yellow for his trouble. He's down. The physio for Memphis is keeping an eye on him. There's the flashing of the card. So Hodge gets his yellow in minute 74.
Well, it's the second time that I think Sergei Demyanchuk is not very happy with Hodge and the way he's handled a couple times when he's gone down.
Yeah.
Because that was another one where he was on his feet for quite a few steps after he committed the foul, then ended up injured.
Because there was the instance in the first half where he goes down, doesn't get the card, then magically hops back up.
Inside of him. Rafa, inside of him.
So let's see what Jack Gurr has in mind here, halfway through minute 75.
Inside of him. Stay right there. Just stay. Stay. Back.
Will Riley is there. Jack Gurr is there. Gurr will take, send it into the area. Top of the 6, headed out by Kofi. De Silva is there, trying to get away from Jack Gurr. Gurr gets in the way, pops up into the air. But Memphis 901 comes away with it. After a bit of herky-jerky by Mensingen, Steedman comes down with it.
Nice defensive work from Matthew Edwards, trying to shake off the effects of that cramp earlier.
Yeah, he's still kind of leaning to one leg.
Did enough to prevent the break from Memphis that time. Wouldn't be surprised to see Memphis 901 try to attack down their left and run at him.
Abdoulaye Jope. A lot behind that one, too much for Coleman Gannon to grab, so it'll be a throw for Memphis 901. Segbers and Muckett have Mensingen. Gannon on him. Mensingen slips. Once a whistle, didn't get it. Steedman over the top. And Mackie Jope will get there.
Beautiful ball from Steedman.
Mackie Jope with the left over everybody, but Jackson Conway will track it down. Man United 2 will try to get something done quickly. Brings it back out to Gurr. Will Riley. Jennings was in pursuit, goes all the way back to Edwards. Jadama and Jope. Space was there, not enough on it. In between ideas, and here comes Cal Jennings. Kofi leaves it for Muckett. Poked away nicely there by Atlanta United 2, Steedman from behind.
Good recovery after a bad giveaway by Atlanta United 2. Keeping possession is a smart thing at this point. 77th minute against a team that played midweek, but it has to be sharp. More possession you invite in your own half, turnovers can hurt you.
Almost happened there. Will Riley looking for Mackie Jope, finds him. Doyle in pursuit. Step over by Mackie Jope, tries to calm it down. Gannon goes on Doyle now, in with the left, cuts it back, nobody home.
Liam Doyle had to get that one right on Mackie Jope, and he did. experienced 1v1 defender, Liam Doyle.
Professional foul there by Jack Gurr, and Sergei Demyanchuk will go in the pocket. Gurr did what he had to do to keep De Silva from going forward.
Smart foul from Gurr. Pierre De Silva with a nice move to cut back to the outside. Gurr had nothing else he could do. Now he has to be careful.
Hodge. Buckmaster tries to get it into Mensingen, and he does. Jadama marking him. Sends it into the middle looking for Jennings. Jennings trying to get that left free. Sends it back to Kofi. Two Atlanta United 2 players on him. It gets it back to Reed. Buckmaster, Mensingen, and De Silva. Grounded with the left, deflected corner kick.
Memphis trying that left side. Created a 3v2 on Gurr and Edwards. Edwards blocks the cross. Now Atlanta has another set piece to defend. We saw a flurry of shots from Memphis at the end of the first half on a series of set pieces. Found their equalizer, then on a set piece. Atlanta has to defend well.
Sent in, Doyle, middle, headed, settled, Buckmaster, back to De Silva. Wants to bring it in with the left, tries to go past Edwards, he can't.
You got to give Matthew Edwards a ton of credit right there, because Pierre De Silva didn't dribble out of bounds by himself. It's strong defending from a young player who was cramping up not that long ago. He's not 100%. You can see him laboring a bit. Now Demyanchuk is going over to tell him to leave the field. Is there blood involved? Because that didn't make a whole lot of sense.
No. But Atlanta United 2 looks like they're swapping
He's being
out.
Substituted, but that was kind of strange from Demyanchuk.
Yep. Lamine Johnnet is in. And another Academy product, David Mejia, is in.
Now how does the back line for Atlanta United 2 reorganize? You've lost one of your 3 center backs. Looks like Abdoulaye Diop will replace Edwards on the back line.
Good work through. And the flag is up, I believe. Yep, flag's up offside on Mackie Diop as he tried to launch it with the left.
Good look from Lamine Johnnet. Run was a little too early from Mackie Diop. You've got fresh legs in that attacking midfield now with Mejia and Johnnet.
And Leston Paul is about ready to check in. And that will be the night for Jean-Christophe Kofi.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
So Paul is in the 81st. Tim Mulqueen has 2 subs left. And Stephen Glass has used all of his. Segbers tries to poke it to get Mensingen free down the wing. And once again, nicely done. Closing the space, it was Mo Jadama. Reed, Mensingen, looking to drive. Tubbs is there. And Coleman Gannon gets it cleared, but he's fouled by Reed.
That's excellent from Coleman Gannon. He gets bumped off initially. Not the biggest guy, Coleman Gannon, but he doesn't give up on it, and he fights back to earn a free kick to get Atlanta out of trouble. Coleman Gannon playing a wing-back role tonight after some shifting around of the shape for Atlanta United 2. Really impressive evening for Coleman Gannon.
Tubbs being pressured by Jennings. Gets it back to Lundgaard.
Garrison Tubbs making us all hold our breath on that one.
Hodge wins the header. Pushed from behind was Wiley, and that was Muck at that time.
Riley's been playing pretty consistently for Atlanta United 2 since the second half of last season. Learning the little tricks. How to slow the game down at this point. Draw a foul. Catch your breath.
Jadama to Mackie Joe. Hodge gets it away to Silva. Thought he had a partner to pass it to. And a foul on Joe trying to get it away from De Silva that time. Hodge and De Silva halfway through minute 83. And it looks like Hodge is having problems again. Let's see what Memphis 901 do here. Here comes the physio to take a look at Tristan Hodge.
Memphis preparing a substitution as well. You'd expect it for Hodge. Got the start tonight in place of the suspended Zach Carroll.
Let's see what the plan is here for Memphis 901.
We got to get balls forward and move our lines up.
Raul Gonzalez will be coming in, so that'll be the first appearance this season for number 7 in white.
Forgot some jewelry.
Yeah, just make sure that you pick it up on the way out the door. You don't leave it behind.
Interesting for Memphis because they've pulled a center back. It looks like Reese Buckmaster is going to move into that spot. Raul Gonzalez will be on the right side for Memphis as they go try to find an equalizer in the 84th minute.
Johnny pursuing Doyle. Back to Haig. Looking for Mensingen. Garrison Tubbs wins the header. And Coleman Gannon once again getting free. Last touch by Gonzalez. Sticks with Atlanta United too.
Didn't really get to mention him when he came on. David Mejia for Atlanta United too. First minutes in USL Championship for the 16-year-old.
First handle. Mensingen will come away with it. Wiley tries to slow him down. It's Jennings in the middle. Tries to give it to De Silva. Gurr gets there first, clears it, so it'll be a deep throw in the attacking third, halfway through minute 85. Segbers. Mejia chasing him. Wiley chasing Muckett. There's Doyle. John A. was there. Buckmaster. Gonzalez. Into the absolute corner. Mensingen gets there with the right into the area, headed out.
Great ball by Mensingen.
And Wiley will clear.
Didn't think he was going to get there and put that much on it.
Tracking it down. Mackie Joe had enough spin on it to stay in.
You got fresh legs up top for Atlanta and Mejia and Lamine Johnnet and Mackie Joe. Going to be able to chase everything Memphis tries to do as they build up possession.
Jope on Doyle. Segbers, not enough on it. Mejia's there. Tries to get it to John A. Couldn't get attached to it enough. A little too much on it from Mejia, and here comes Memphis again.
Just too much out in front of him. John A. couldn't get there.
Muckett. Center circle. Steedman tracks him down. Michael Reed. Paul. Goes through Lamine John A. Will be a throw by Gonzalez. Back and forth with Buckmaster. Look to drive, give and go. Has a little space. Atlanta United 2 closing. Muckett wanted to set up the left, but Abdoulaye Jope was there, and then the foul.
Abdoulaye Jope, a holding midfielder by trade, has to drop into the back line with the injury to Matthew Edwards. Reads that perfectly and then tries to launch the attack. It's great awareness from Abdoulaye Jope with the takeaway, then drawing the foul. Now watching that clock run a bit.
Heading toward minute 88. Lundgaard sends everybody forward.
David, get underneath it. David, get underneath Matty. Don't go too early, Dave.
First ball past everybody. Second ball picked up by Memphis. Here comes Gonzalez. Mensingen. Last touch by Jennings. It'll be a throw for Atlanta United 2. Nicely defended that time, Garrison Tubbs.
Tubbs got enough of it to throw Jennings off.
Gannon looking for somebody. Mejia was there with the back heel. Ends up back to Memphis. Doyle tried to do something with it. Mackie Jope said Doyle touched it last, but he did not in the eyes of the officials, so it'll be a throw.
Nice work from Mackie Jope not to commit the foul there. Good tackle on Doyle.
Paul, Reed, Doyle, Gonzalez.
You hear Tim Mulqueen's got to be quicker. Memphis trying to pick up the pace as time runs out.
Back to Buckmaster. Tries to turn on John A. Goes back to Paul. Gonzalez, but Coleman Gannon nicely done.
Memphis sending everybody forward now.
Mensingen looking to get it to Gonzalez. Buckmaster, Paul, Muckett. Jennings tries to turn with the right. Nicely grabbed that time by Ben Lungard. Had it all the way.
Through traffic, Lungard has eyes on it. Makes a clean save, no rebound. Atlanta United 2 has to stay switched on here at the end of this.
Jope wins the header, tries to flick it. Can John A. get there? Memphis got there first. Gonzalez comes back.
Scrambling clearance by Buckmaster.
Paul in the middle, has some room. De Silva in with the left. Through Jennings and Mensingen. Mensingen stopped. Atlanta United 2 kept going. John A. Nice flick to Mejia.
Great ball by Mejia.
Mackie Jope with space. Doyle closing. Here comes Segbers with a head of steam. And a foul right there. Segbers wipes out Mackie Jope in the last 30 seconds, and that'll be a card for your trouble. I mean, John A. is down.
Great ball from Mejia. Mackie Jope with the little pullback. Segbers has nothing else he can do but commit the foul.
And John A. is still down. Here come the physios. Action here in the Eastern Conference, but there's a pair of West Coast matchups that highlight your Sunday schedule as the USL Championship continues their 2020 season. The Donner Pass Derby kicks things off at 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, with Sacramento Republic and Reno 1868 looking to take early control of Group A. An hour later at 10 Eastern on ESPN Deportes, San Diego Loyal SC takes on LA Galaxy 2. Los Dos also in Group A action. Don't miss a single second of Sunday on the ESPN family of networks. And John A. walking off under his own power. So one final promo read for the day. The USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allows clubs across the USL to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent. Following the success of the first Academy Cup events, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League, kicking off in spring 2021. For more information, visit usl-academy.com or search hashtag USL Academy on social media. And you saw a lot about that in the halftime.
Clubs that can develop their own talent will have a heads up on the rest of the league. The USL Academy will definitely help with that process.
5 minutes added. We're a minute and a half already in. You'll probably get some more time added. Mackie Jope chasing his own ball that he was trying to go back and forth with Mejia on.
He changed his mind. It's only 6 after that.
So Memphis trying to act quickly here with Haig reintroducing to Buckmaster.
John A. back on the field for Atlanta.
Gonzalez trying to find a partner, has to go back to Reese Buckmaster. Leston Paul. Back to Gonzalez. In with the right, trying to lead Jennings, chests it down. Can he control it? Yes. Jennings looking to drive, flicks it in. Short side goal by the local product, and we're tied at 2 in the 93rd.
Atlanta United 2 switched off at the end of each half, and it's come back to cost them. Cal Jennings continues fighting for this, beats Longard. Gets on the end of that way too easily. Atlanta scrambling to try to adjust. Longard trying to take away the cross. Gives up the near post to Jennings. It's a great flick from him. First professional goal for Cal Jennings is a big one for Memphis 901.
Yeah, but he changed his mind. I asked him, he said 6.
Almost coming out of here with no points. They've got one, but now Mackie Jope is being sprung. Liam Doyle gets there first, and it's going to be a Creature Comforts corner here as we head toward minute 94.
About 3 minutes left for Atlanta United 2. We'll see how aggressive they are on this one. Memphis dropping everybody back to defend. That gives Atlanta the opportunity to send as many as they want. Will Riley and Coleman Gannon are going to hang back. Can Atlanta find a piece of magic on this set piece?
See what Jack Gurr has in mind. In with the right, middle of the area. Down, headed out by Muckett. But John A will get there first. Trying to dribble into the corner.
Gets the foul.
Gonzalez went in. Foul was called, so it's going to be a set piece.
We'll have to take another look at that. Lamine Johnnet, heavy touch. Got past the first defender. Raul Gonzalez went to ground quickly. Gets past Muckett. The trail leg caught him. It's a sloppy tackle from Gonzalez. He didn't get him with the leg he was trying to get to the ball with. Trail leg caught Johnnet. Might have left a leg in to get caught. Earns another corner, or another set piece here. Nearly a corner kick.
Two-man wall for Memphis 901. Gurr with the right, looking back post, headed out. Jennings was there. Steedman tries to gain control of it. He does away from Mensingen. Pokes it into the area, inside the 6, right at the edge, back out. And another foul call.
Steedman earns this one. This is from the edge of the 18. About 90 seconds left. It was a great first touch by Steedman to keep that alive. Yellow card issued, possibly to Pierre Da Silva.
Yep.
If it was, it has to be to Da Silva. If it was Segbers, he'd be gone. Jennings with the big touch for Memphis to get the goal to equalize, and then maybe an even bigger touch to head that one away.
We're at 5 right now, guys. We're at 5. We're at 15 minutes.
Atlanta
right
trying to dial something up here. Jack Gurr comes over to talk to Garrison Tubbs.
Steedman at the edge of the area. Riley and Coleman Gannon hanging back. Sergei Demyanchuk backing up Segbers and Da Silva. Another step to a step and a half. Gurr over everybody. Jennings will clear. Steedman chips it in and over the inline goal kick. Coming up on the end of the 6 minutes, you figure another minute or so after that. Segbers on a long run. John A, professional foul there, and a card for you as well.
Way too easy for Segbers to advance that. Not giving Memphis the opportunity to take the free kick. That's rather surprising from Demyanchuk.
So the card to John A ends it after 96 and a couple of seconds. So Atlanta United had leads of 1-0 and 2-1. It ends up with a 2-2 draw.
Memphis not very happy about the way that one ended.
Yeah.
About 3 seconds over the 6 minutes that was announced. Tim Mulqueen wants to have a word with Sergei Demyanchuk, and he does not want to talk to him.
Sergei Demyanchuk pointed at his watch.
Referees just walk off. Didn't want to talk to anybody. Tim Mulqueen very upset. Memphis players very upset. I think they have a legitimate question here. Just 3 seconds over that 6 minutes, and there had been a lot of stoppages in the 6 minutes.
Yeah. And so Sergei Demyanchuk.
You rarely see a game stopped in that kind of fashion. Typically, that kind of play would be allowed to continue. John A makes the play he has to. Segbers trying to break down the left side. He commits the foul. Typically, that free kick is allowed to be taken.
But Sergei Demyanchuk points to his watch to Reese Buckmaster, and that'll do it. When we come back, we'll put a bow on this one. Shared result, 2-2, Atlanta United 2 and Memphis 901 FC. It's the USL Championship on ESPN+. We'll be right back to finish.
I knew your name before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, one stop to better.
I knew your name before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
Welcome back to Fifth Third Bank Stadium. 2-2 your final. Atlanta United 2 and Memphis 901 FC. And Atlanta United 2 a couple of minutes at the end of each half, Jason, and that was when Memphis 901 equalized.
The match lasts 90 minutes plus stoppage time. Atlanta United might have been the better team for about 80 to 85 of those minutes, but they only get 1 point out of this. That's going to be a gut punch for this side and for Stephen Glass. Memphis with a flurry of shots on set pieces, only 4 on target. Possession, Memphis shaded it at 54%. Atlanta was the stronger team in the run of play for long stretches, but as we've talked about with young teams, you have to remain switched on. The end of each half proved to be the problem for Atlanta United 2.
Atlanta United 2 has 6 days before their next match, and it will be at Patriots Point against the Battery in Charleston. Goals by Coleman Gannon and Jackson Conway lead to a 2-2 draw for the Twos. They got 6 days before their next match in the USL Championship. For Jason Longshore, for one of the best crews in the business, I am John Nelson. Play it safe, everybody. We will see you back here on the 29th. You've been watching the USL Championship on ESPN+.
Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.